Enough, the squad's there tonight, but missing the match against Sheffield United tomorrow because of injury will be two of the side's most experienced players, Mickey Hazard and Paul Bowden. They're taking it all in their stride at Swindon, where there's a jovial mood this year, but it's only hiding the apprehension of a debut in the Premier League. New man John Gorman has made sure the side has kept smiling but not lost its sense of discipline, something it'll need against the Sheffield United hardmen, if they can stay awake that long.
Well, I think everyone's delighted with the way the managers handled the situation, and I must say Dave as well, David A. They've both done a very good job. They've sort of made team spirit a very important factor in our pre-season planning. Obviously, there's a feeling of apprehension because none of us have, well, most of the team haven't played there before. But as I said, once we get into the game, all that apprehension will disappear, and you'll hopefully start to see the confidence start flowing.
The Blades are without England striker Brian Deane this year and have been bracketed with Swindon as favourites for relegation. All the more reason to get off to a good start in the club's debut match in the top flight.
You know, we read the papers, then everybody's written us off already. You know, it's ridiculous without even a ball being kicked. But, you know, unfortunately we lost a couple of players, you know, which we couldn't be helped. But I'm sure we can survive, and hopefully we can surprise a few as well. If we finished mid-table, it wouldn't surprise me. But to be written off already by all the press is, I find it ridiculous.
Ironically, two men who've tasted top football, Hazard with Spurs and Bowden for a short time with Crystal Palace, are unfit for tomorrow's curtain raiser. But it won't stop the Wiltshire side playing their now traditional brand of football. All
the players that have played there, as you say, like myself, all we'll be able to do is try and instill some confidence in the other boys that haven't played there. But I'm convinced that the majority of the boys in this club are every bit as good as some of the players that have played within the higher league.
Paul Bowden from the spot for Swindon. He scored!
Wembley in May is now just a memory, the First Division history. But John Gorman knows his defence will have to be more resilient. Last year, when Swindon tasted a piece of Premier League football, they were exposed by Oldham, the first visitors to the county ground next week. But with a tighter defence and flowing football, Swindon are confident they can play and stay with the best.
Sheffield United on Saturday, for instance, will be a big test for us to go up there and instill our passing game on them, because they're not renowned for their passing game, although there is one or two rumours flying around that they're starting to try and pass the ball. But no, I mean, it'll be a big test for us Saturday, and if we can go there and instill our style of football on them rather than them on us, then that'll stand us in good stead for the season.
Next week, the county ground will twice be filled to its new 18,000 all-ticket capacity. On Wednesday, they staged their first Premier League match against Joe Royals Oldham, and 4 days later, a match which really underlines their arrival at the top level, Swindon at home to Liverpool. Mark, I suppose the question that everybody's asking is, can they survive in the Premier League?
I think it depends on the home form, Angus, really. I mean, every game will be like an adventure for the first 3 months, but it's imperative that they win the majority of the home games. If they don't, then I'm afraid they've got no chance.
How much will they miss Glenn Hoddle as a player?
Oh, lots, because he's probably 50% of their team last year, and that's not being disrespectful to the rest of the players. It's because, you know, he was a shining example and an outstanding quality passer, and he will be for Chelsea this year. So I think for them, he's irreplaceable.
They have toughened up their squad, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've got names, and they've got names who have a lot to prove, and that will help them. But they've certainly got a mountain to climb.
Thanks, Mark. More later.
Vital part at Bramall Lane as well. Willie Faulkner on his debut for Sheffield United, giving his new club the lead. Some free kicks are predictable, others less so. And from the latter category, John Moncur and Swindon produced the equaliser. A soft goal maybe, but Swindon always in contention. Then from United, the decisive strike they can produce even without Brian Deane. Carl Bradshaw, the hero of Bramall Lane. And 2-1 became 3-1 thanks to Dave Bassett's man of the match Andy Scott, once of Sutton United. Fraser Digby could deny him, but not Paul Rogers. The league's newcomers, Swindon, felt just a little sore.
We didn't deserve to lose 3-1, no way. I thought a draw was a fair result on the day, and possibly once we equalised, it looked like there was only going to be one winner.
Also, over the summer, the club, which is in debt, has said John Gorman can buy if he can find the right players. Swindon's first taste of Premiership football, a goal by Sheffield United's Willie Faulkner after 21 minutes. Swindon Town's John Moncur made a shrewd move in taking a second-half free kick before the Sheffield defence was ready and squeezed the club's first ever goal at this level. But Swindon learned a hard lesson when heading for a draw. They conceded 2 goals in the last quarter of an hour, the first from Carl Bradshaw. Then Paul Rogers made it a miserable end to Swindon's Premiership debut, after Swindon goalkeeper Fraser Digby could only parry the earlier shot. And it was misery.
They were less than complimentary to the newcomers. Others suggested that Sheffield United were lucky to win. All of them, though, couldn't resist the ornithological references, with the robins brought down by a falconer goal. Well, we're going to avoid all sorts of references like that and get it straight from the horse's mouth, John. What was your verdict of the game yesterday?
To be honest, they were pretty lucky to win. It was, for us, to be honest, we were very disappointed to come away with at least not a point, because we felt we were really deserved a point. When we equalised, there was only one team playing. And for half an hour, we were well on top, and we were very unfortunate, really, to lose the second goal. What were the crucial moments for you? There was many, actually. I think that the most crucial was probably the chance we had just after we actually substituted for Janio Furtov got injured, and that was a major factor, actually. And then we had a good chance, and Craig Maskell missed quite an open, you know, a real good chance for us, and that would have put us 2-1 up. Consequently, they went down the field, got a free kick. And I'm not making excuses, but it was a bit dodgy, the old free kick. It was a doubtful free kick. Yeah. Good ball in, excellent. They were very good on dead balls, something that they obviously work at. And it just got a little slight deflection off Luke Nyhold and managed to loop in for the crucial goal. Well, what's the word on Fjortoft? How serious is he? Yeah, spoke to him this morning, spoke to Kevin Morris, obviously a physio. It's not as bad as we first thought. He was very concerned. There's quite a bit of swelling in the ankle, but the swelling's going down a bit today, and he can walk a lot better today, and very hopeful that even with a good chance to be involved on Wednesday. That's against Oldham? Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. People will say, looking at the result, that Swindon, you know, couldn't manage the step up. Is that how you saw it? No, nobody's seen it that way. You had to be at the game, like I said, the newspapers, you can't go with the newspapers, that's for sure. And I speak to these people, and Mark will tell you what they're like, and they just make up things. But to be fair, I think there was a fair, you know, comments on the game. It was at the beginning of the match, yes, it was difficult, but we expected that. When you go to places like Sheffield, they come out flying, and they went back to their old style. I had a sneaky feeling that they might play a little bit more creative football this year, but they just played the similar way they've always done, and got the ball forward nice and early, put the pressure on us. As I said, dead ball situations, but we were handling it so well. Our back four, in fact, played magnificently yesterday. I was going to ask, how much did you miss Colin Calderwood and Glenn Hoddle? Well, everybody always does ask this, and, you know, I would, obviously, when you lose a game, but we lost many games last year away from Hull and the year before, as Mark and people will tell you, we lost goals. We looked very, very tight yesterday. That was the most pleasing. David Hay and myself were very, very pleased with the defensive qualities of the team. In fact, it's 14 minutes before the end of the game when they made it to 3-1. And, you know, up to then, we looked so solid. And the two, of course, young Adrian Whitbread and Sean Taylor, at the beginning of the game, were just soaking up everything. And the two fullbacks done ever so well, Nicky Summerbay and Luke Nyhold. Nicky Summerbay, in fact, even playing a normal fullback role, still managed to be so threatening going forward and getting some beautiful telling crosses. And now you've got a big week at the county ground, haven't you, with Oldham on Wednesday and Liverpool next weekend. How are you looking forward to those? We are looking forward to it. But we would have been, you know, even more looking forward to it if we'd just got that little bonus yesterday of at least a draw, which we deserved. But in saying that, the spirit in the dressing room afterwards and coming back in the bus, nobody feels that we've got anything to worry about. And we're looking forward to playing Oldham on Wednesday night, take the first one as it comes, and that's Oldham. They've not had a particularly good result yesterday, so they can't be feeling too confident. They lost at home. You know, we lost away from home, which is always a difficult thing to start the season off. Mark, what advice would you give Swindon with those two games coming up?
I think the thing is, Alistair, that I think probably John found it yesterday with the Premier League, is that it's that fraction, that difference. You don't get that many chances, and if you make mistakes at the back, you get punished, don't you? And that really is the massive difference. As we said on the programme on Friday, if the key to staying in the division is to win your home games. It really is. And they're all very, very difficult games. They're all very, very hard. But if you can get the points at home, you're always going to have a chance.